Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Still a very happy David67. Looking forward to Wednesday's match for both the women's and the men's team. I'll be doing a video regarding the women's team for those that like to follow the women's team. To be doing that video a bit later on this afternoon. But this video primarily concentrating on the Celtic Player of the Year awards, the official awards which were last night, plus a wee note of what you yourselves, the David67 channel viewers and subscribers, voted for as your Player of the Year. Also, a couple of wee other little bits of Celtic related news and an interesting little debating point as to whether VAR should have intervened regarding an incident with Diomande and Rio Hatate very early in the game. So, just going to crack on with the official results of the David 67 poll for Player of the Year for the men's team. In the women's video, I'll deal with the official awards and the David 67 choice. So this is just concentrating on the men's results. So in our own poll, Matt O'Reilly won with 52%, Joe Hart with 24% was second, Kyogo with 10% was third, and fourth equal were Liam Scales and Luis Palma on 7%. I think given Matt O'Reilly's start to the season and the last quarter of the season, I think he is clearly our favourite player and our best player this season. Top of the scoring charts just after Kyogo, top of the assist charts as well. And he obviously was quite a key figure in us winning the game on Saturday against Rangers, and was a key figure in winning the Cup semi-final against Aberdeen a few weeks ago, and so not too surprising that we voted for Matt O'Reilly almost by a 1 in every 2 proportion. Nice to see some votes also for Liam Scales and Luis Palma. I think their best form and best performances were very much in the spell from August through to the winter break. I think both have struggled a bit after the winter break. But I think good to see both those players being rewarded with a few votes from the channel. Now, looking at the official results of the award ceremony last night, Academy Player of the Year was Daniel Kelly. Goal of the season for the men's team was voted as Kyogo's goal in the 30th of December game against Rangers. This was the second goal that we scored that day. That was Kyogo's lovely curling shot that started in the centre of the goal and curved further and further away from Butland into the top corner. I think it was an excellent goal. Bit of good build-up by the team earlier, then some individual brilliance by Kyogo, and then clearly also it was an incredibly important goal in terms of the season, and so I think a very worthy winner of goal of the season for the Celtic team. Then there were a series of awards all to Matt O'Reilly. He was voted Young Player of the Year by the fans. He was voted Men's Player of the Year by the fans, and was voted Players Player of the Year by his fellow squad members. And so, in essence, we voted Matt O'Reilly as a channel as Player of the Year, and the 3 awards that Matt O'Reilly could win for Young Player of the Year by fans vote, Players Player of the Year by the players vote, and Player of the Year by the fans vote all went to Matt O'Reilly officially. So, moving on to the little bit of Celtic news, Celtic debate. Quite a number of internet sites and journalists and fans have been picking up on an incident early in the match from Saturday where Rio Hatate made a run towards the box and Diomande, the Rangers defensive midfielder, came in to him from the back, smashing him across the back of the head and neck with a kind of forearm smash. And Rio Hatate went to ground, understandably got a free kick, which Matt O'Reilly curled just past the post. Willie Collins seemed happy just to give it as a foul, no yellow card, no warning or discussion with Diomande for the foul, and Stephen McLean in the VAR booth didn't call him across to have another look at it. There are some who are calling for that to be a red card, given the fact that Diomande hit the back of Rio Hatate's head. It appeared like an intentional blow. It could have just been accidental with running side by side, but it did look like Diomande drew his arm back and smashed Hatate in the back of the head and neck. I think in some circumstances that might well have been given as a red card. Probably should really have been given as a yellow card, but many pundits are saying, given the fact it was so early in the game, Willie Collum wanted to keep his yellow cards in his pocket to try and diffuse any tension, aggression, etc., etc. My personal feeling is a yellow card is a yellow card, no matter whether it's 10 seconds in or in the last few seconds of a match. But I can see what some ex-players, ex-refs and journalists are saying regarding that. Did think it was a bit odd that Willie Collum did keep his yellow card in his pocket for Diomande throughout the whole game. He had a couple of quite nasty challenges early in the game, a couple later in the game as well, where Rangers were getting a bit more frantic. Nicola Raskin had 3 significant fouls competing in Celtic's midfield to try and get the ball back off the Celtic players when Rangers again were trying to go all-out attack. I did think it was a little bit unusual that Callum McGregor got yellow carded for pulling back on the shirt, and Raskin and Diomande got away with repeated fouling. Anyway, I thought I'd just pop in a BBC sports scene clip of that particular incident of the Diomande challenge on Rio Hatate, and would be keen to see what you feel yourself as to whether you think it merited anything more than a foul, and whether VAR should have got Willie Collum to have a look at it. So have a wee look at the incident itself, and then we'll crack on with the last wee bit of today's video. So do, as I say, if you feel worthy of comment, do pop that into the comment section, keeping things nice and polite and respectful, etc. My personal feeling is we're now on Monday. It's a couple of days since the game. I think it's time to move on. I think whether the O'Reilly penalty was a penalty, that's a matter for debate. There was the possible handball by Sterling from the Alistair Johnston cross. There was the possibility of Alistair Johnston having a wee tug on Fabio Silva's shirt at the back post. There were 2 clear offside goals disallowed. Don't think anybody's debating that. And pretty much 99% of the football world is accepting that was a red card by Lundstrom. I think Kenny Miller appears to be one of the few people still adamant that it should not have been a red card. So last wee bit, just a couple of wee sad notes from the Celtic Rangers match at the weekend. Does look like Celtic might be in some trouble with the police and with the league over flares and debris which were thrown onto the pitch. The debris did nearly hit Tavernier. The flare caused a couple of minutes of delay to the game, and I think it is actually quite sad. I know there were incidents at Ibrox, Matt O'Reilly nearly hit by a bottle. Previous times, Celtic's physio, Celtic's dugout, been hit by bottles and other debris thrown from the crowd. And of course, a couple of times ago at Ibrox, Joe Hart at the start of the second half had a whole lot of broken bottles in his goal mouth that needed removed by the ground staff. I think it is disappointing that some bad behaviour by Rangers supporters at previous Rangers Celtic matches was reciprocated and repeated by Celtic fans at the weekend. It does tend to be the kind of thing that gets teams banned. It can potentially, let's say, had Tavernier been hit and badly injured, there have occasionally been games which have been abandoned due to that kind of thing and then having to be replayed. So I do think it's something that we as Celtic fans should stamp out and avoid at all costs. And it was sad that it did spoil to a wee bit a great day. And I think otherwise the Celtic fans, all 60 odd thousand of them, screamed, shouted, supported the club, and did a tremendous job in helping the team to the victory and putting that wee bit extra pressure of the cauldron and atmosphere on the Rangers players on the day. And I think a few of them, particularly John Lundstrom, kind of lost their head and were overcome by the situation and the importance of the game. I think there was a wee bit of nervousness and tension amongst a lot of the players on both sides. So that just about finishes things off for today. If you are new to the channel and you have enjoyed this video, please do click that subscribe button, nearly at my next target, which was 500, which moves me up to a level 2 contributor. It does open up one or two other wee extra things for the channel, for the viewers and subscribers. Also, if you have liked the video, please do click that like button and do feel free to put pleasant, polite, constructive, informative, debating and discussion points into the comment section. I think we can have a nice wee chat regarding what we think, regarding the Diomande challenge, the number of fouls that Raskin and Diomande got away with. Did either of the other two possible penalty incidents merit a penalty? And also what your reaction was to the various Player of the Year awards officially yesterday. So until tomorrow, we'll be back with another wee video, starting to have a look at the Kilmarnock match on Wednesday, which could well guarantee us the 23-24 title, making 3 in a row and 12 out of 13, which is pretty remarkable as a statistic. We'll say goodbye and hail, hail.